Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. So I just want to say thanks to everybody that's been engaging with my content and sharing it around. It's perfect. I'm really happy about it. Really helping out. So thank you very much and welcome to all my new subscribers. So today I'm going to be looking at this random game called Roundguard. Now this is from the publishers at the company Quantum Astrophysics Guild, which has done some other games that I've reviewed on the channel. Now, the game in general is almost like a Peggle type of bust a move type of game, morphed into this weird and wonderful puzzle type of game with, like, you launch a ball into a bunch of balls and these different things, and it bounces around the screen, and you have to try and kill all the baddies on the screen before it hits the floor. Now obviously you got life, and as you go through the life, you can generally get a feel that, you know, oh, I'm going to be taking out 6 or 7 baddies, I'll try and hit them in some sort of order. Now you throw the ball around the screen and you're hitting like these clay pot things, and they can either like contain potions or like traps or extra monsters to kill, and the goal for each of the levels on each of the boards is basically to eliminate all of the bad guys to complete the level before going down a certain end zone, basically. Now with that said, you get extra moves via collecting the blue pots of liquid, or whatever you want to call it, magic powder or whatever, and you collect that up and you can do special moves like spin a sword round or attack with different powers, so to speak. It's special skills you're picking up from this like mana power that you find, and you'll find that you can get certain things to then make it slightly easier. Now, the game and the character you pick and play as kind of has like RPG elements to it, because you can level up and get stronger, and you're picking up these enhancements for your character. So, like, your life bar might only start like 100 and something when you're starting, but when you get really later on into the game, like down into like level 40, you get like 600 life, which means that even though the levels are harder, you've got more life to be able to complete them. So it's almost like the difficulty doesn't really increase majorly hard per se. Now, I think I've completed through the first 60 something levels, and it's such a fun little game, and you basically going through the levels down each dungeon, and at the end of each dungeon set of levels is like an end of area boss, and those bosses can be quite challenging. I think the first one's around level 30. It's a big boss, like a big squid looking type thing, but as you make your way down, you'll find all these extra weapons and armor and different relics, and you can increase your hero's abilities to be able to take on these big boss fights, and as you do that, you'll just get a lot better. And you can switch out the extra abilities and put them into like your bank, or you can just discard them for the gold value that you can get and store them. So you can either store them or get in-game cash for these things. Now, at the end of each of the level parts, or the boards, so to speak, you can go down certain pathways. So if you want to take on a quicker route, maybe jumping past a level or two, you can. So you could like jump from like level 11 to 13 by missing out one of the levels by going down a harder path but only doing one level. However, you might find that the harder paths are, funnily enough, harder and you can't do them as easily as taking the easier path. But yeah, I mean, it's a lot of fun, I must admit, and the more I play the game, the later on into the game, it really has that charming variety going on for each of the level designs. You can really tell that a lot of the level designs had a lot of thought put into them as to how this little guy you're throwing around bounces around the screen, because if you get it at a certain point, you can ricochet it and almost complete the level without really trying, which is pretty cool really, because you look at it and think, God, that looks crazy. But then you start doing parts and it's like, how the hell did I manage to do that? Because your little chap's bounced around half the screen so much that it's wiped half the level out with one turn, which is pretty cool, I must admit. Each of the bosses that you come across though do take a little bit of figuring out how to defeat them, and that can be a little bit difficult. Apart from that, the game's very straightforward. It's not the type of one where I'd say you're going to forget it easily. It's a real good experience for that type of gameplay, which I know I'm playing here on the PS5. It's the PS4 game though, but I have got it on the Switch as well because it's just recently been on, I think it's like 60% sale or something crazy. Now, for me, this game is the type of game that is perfectly suited to the Switch, because it's the type of game you can play for like 20-30 minutes casually and then put down again, and it has save states between each of the areas. You can just save and exit it, and it just saves where you are. Yeah, you might come around and think, oh, I'm not going to play this for like 4 or 5 hours on the trot, and I can understand that, but it's a real good, fun, all-round great little puzzle game really, and that's why I think it's probably best suited to the Switch, because short of playing it for hours and hours on end, which you might do, I think it's really good for that type of game which you can just passively play and enjoy, so to speak, and for that I think it's worth the money all over. And some of the puzzles are really quite charming when some of the characters are talking and you read out what's being said. It's like, actually, that's quite funny, and I like that kind of sense of humour that comes through in the game. It's actually something which I kind of like when playing some games that are maybe not heavy hitters on narrative and story, but they put in those few jokes there which make it really quite entertaining, to say the least. And yeah, I mean, when you think about this type of game and the other ones that are, some of the games that are out there, like this one really does stand out because it's got such a nice, unique feel to it, and it's different from some of the other games out there, which I kind of think is really cool. And there you go. So, I mean, as I said, it has been on sale recently. I think it's still on sale now on PlayStation and Switch. And yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, for me, the hardest part of the game so far that I can really tell people is that if you're going for all the relics in the game, they can be quite challenging. You might want to look at a level, plan out how you're going to do it, then see if you can actually aim for those relics, because each of the levels have a list of challenges. There's the one just to pass it, and there's 2 bonus other challenges as well, and some of them can be quite challenging, I must admit, but you don't need to complete them all to move on to the next levels. And yeah, I mean, great, really. Value for money is absolutely top notch, even at full price, I think, really. But as I said, it's on sale at the moment, so knock yourself out. And I can really see why people who might like the game could be inspired by something like the Peggle type games or something, because on the Switch it would be perfect for that. Something also to mention is this game's on the Apple Arcade, which I always like to mention if it is, because some people might be on that, have an Apple TV and not have consoles, and you can play on that as well, which is really cool, and they're supporting that. And basically that's it. Not really much more I can say. Oh, one of the other things to say is there's like a daily challenge area where you can take on a daily challenge, and it changes each day, funnily enough, with the name like daily challenge. But yeah, so if you wanted a daily challenge each day for you to do a certain puzzle, they stick one out each day and you can take it off your list and off you go. Also, the trophy pack's pretty straightforward as well. I played it for like an hour and a half, 2 hours one day. I think I got 26 trophies. So I can't complain about that at all. Anyway, I'll leave a little bit more gameplay here running out. If you do want to ask any questions, just drop them in the comments down below. And if I don't know them, I can reach out to the people who made the game and get them to answer it for you. And yeah, I'll catch you on the next one. Thank you very much, and goodbye.